Hello and welcome to another installment in So You Want to Be Inspired? My name is Dawn Wilson and I'm your hostess. Today I have the pleasure and the honor of interviewing the dynamic, triple threat, yogini extraordinaire, inspirational, soulful, incredibly beautiful Harmony Livingston. Thank you for this opportunity to be able to interview you and bring your story to the world. So thank you so much.
Oh my goodness, thank you, Dawn. Wow. My gosh.
It's true. And so yay, here we are. And I just want to start with just like a few nuts and bolts, and I just want to ask you a little bit about where you're from.
Yeah. Okay. So I grew up in Summertown, Tennessee. Very, very small town in the middle of the country. I grew up there and went to school through college, University of Tennessee.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, So I'm a southeast southern girl. But it's funny, I actually always felt called to come out to California. And ever since I got here, feels like home.
I love it. I love it. So how long have you been here?
I've been here 3 years.
Okay. Oh my goodness. You seem like such a native dog.
I know, right? There's an automatic kind of, I'm from here. Yeah, this feels good.
My goodness. And you don't even have a twang, darling.
I don't, unless you want me to have one.
Right. We'll get to that later with the whole twang. Okay, so that's fantastic. 3 years. We're so lucky to have you here. We really are. We are.
Thank you.
I know you originally from as a yoga instructor, as I happened to luckily stumble into your class. And so how did you come to teaching yoga?
So my mother is actually a yoga instructor.
Really?
As well, yes. And I used to go to her classes. Well, it's funny, as a child growing up, I kind of resisted that, right? I wanted to do my own thing. So I would go to dance classes.
Okay.
And on the same days that she would teach yoga, so I would have to kind of hang out at her yoga class, and so I was around it for a very long time, and I moved to New York after college to pursue the arts.
Okay,
and
that makes sense.
And it became just a necessary thing for me. It became my rock. So I just kept going to classes because I just needed it for peace of mind.
Okay.
And it just became a very natural, it always was a very natural part of me. And then teaching just seemed like the next evolution.
Did you start teaching in New York?
I didn't. I taught dance classes, and I taught some acting classes to children, and some different forms of movement, but it wasn't until I moved to California that I started actually implementing the yoga teaching into my life.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is really interesting. So
I know. Many people don't know.
So your mom was a yoga teacher in Tennessee.
In Tennessee. So I don't know if I should do the backstory, but I was born in Oregon. So
okay. Now see.
Yeah. So I know. I left out that piece.
Well, no, it's just coming together from
okay.
So like just Tennessee.
I know.
I shouldn't say just Tennessee. I don't know Tennessee. But it's just like West Coast vibe though.
Pieces of the puzzle.
Yeah. So your mom's from you're from Oregon originally, or your parents are from?
I was born. So my mother is Spanish. She's from Spain.
Okay.
My father was Canadian, and they met in Oregon. And that's where I was born. And then when I was a baby, so I don't remember Oregon much, they traveled to Tennessee. Okay. So I say I grew up in Tennessee because I did.
Oh, okay. So that's making sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I wanted to give my experience of your classes for the folks.
Please.
So Harmony is my favorite yoga teacher. She really is my favorite yoga teacher, and the reasons for this is, number one, I have like a serious meditation practice, and the whole, really stilling yourself, really being present, really grounding yourself is really important to me. And when I come to your classes, that's what you do. Like your practice to me is very grounded. It's a very grounded practice, and so I feel that centering. I feel like, well, I don't feel like, I know it's very like you're very present, very centered, but you're very light and very I don't know, you have very positive energy, and it's very light, and so that really appeals to me. And as well, you are so creative, and so it's never a dull class, and there is a flow, not so much power, there's not a power flow, but there's this flow from one movement to the next that is just sort of seamless. There feels like there's an ease to your practice. It feels like it's because it's very centered and very grounded, then there's this ease and this lightness. So all of those things happen in your class for me, making you like my favorite instructor, because it's a beautiful experience, really, to be in your class. It really is a beautiful experience, and I always feel very grateful and thankful when I've done your class. I really do. And to me, it's very special, because there's really only been a few teachers for me where I felt sort of like this lightness and this, and this natural seamlessness to the practice, and I walk away and I feel so great afterwards. So this is the reason, what began the conversation. So anyway, that's my experience of this women's yoga class.
Wow. Well, it's so amazing to hear. It's so amazing to hear your experience, because I think that's really what happens in that room, is that each person has their experience, and that is like, for me, it just feels good to know what yours is. Yeah. Because that's my intention, is to allow and to just create a space where everybody can have their experience of what this practice is for them. It's a piece of poetry or a piece of art or music that everyone comes in with whatever they come in, and everyone has an interpretation, and whatever they take out or becomes in that situation, whatever happens in that situation is very personalized. And so it's beautiful. So here's yet another stage for art, and because that is art art to me. So yeah, it's amazing. I as a teacher, and you're a teacher as well, that experience of the mind kind of going, what do I bring in that's new, or the mind trying to kind of come up with the class or the structure, or like what to say and what to, and I go through that. I have that experience in my mind. Sure. And then I show up, and something happens when you just show up. And say, okay, well, what's gonna come out? And trusting what comes out to be what needs to come out. And that's just an amazing experience to kind of go. So with the yoga practice, I used to plan my sequences, and I used to think about, and then we're going to do this stretch for the hips, and then it's going to lead into, and my mind used to plan and think, and I'd write notes. And that was a great way to begin. Sure. But now it's really like, here I am standing in this posture, and now my body wants to move in this way. So here we're going to go here. So it's very intuitive. It is. So you don't then write out notes? I don't have sequences planned in my head beforehand anymore. Yeah. And I'm open to them changing for each class, because I teach so many classes in a row sometimes, depending on the day, that I know there's a muscle memory of the class that just happened. But then we get into this new space with new people, and there's a different energy in that room. And it's listening and dropping in and surrender. A certain level of surrender and trust. So this is beautiful. And it's a very creative approach. This is a very, to me, again, my interpretation, it's a very artistic approach to it, because to me,
it's spiritual because this is life. This is sort of the composition of life, and this is a way to live life, not the only way, but it is a way to live life, is to show up, surrender, trust, and then just allow life to happen, right? Allow the flow. And so, but it also is a very, art is a reflection of life, and so it is a very artistic approach to show up, surrender, allow, trust, and allow it to happen. So unfold. I love hearing about your process. I'm like, oh, so that's why it feels that way, though.
Right.
I mean, it really does feel different. It's a different experience, really. It's a treat, when I can go, I'm like, I went, and this is a different experience. And this is, why I love your class. It's almost really at this point, it's just me. I know my personality, I suppose, that if a certain teacher resonates with me, their style resonates with me. Of course, I'm going to want to go back. I mean, that's the feel good, right? That's the feel good moment. Like, yeah, I want to go back. I want to have that experience again. But there's just a few teachers that have touched me that way, where I'm like, yeah, I feel motivated to then get up for the 6 o'clock class. And
6 a.m.
Yes.
It takes a lot, there's a lot of willpower and...
Well,
for some.
Well, no, I'm a 5 o'clock gym person. But here's the thing: the 6 o'clock class, which is actually late for me, I'm late running to work. So that's where I have to be like, okay, it's a real, it's really a big deal for me because I'm going to be running late to work. So it's like,
so the choices,
it's worth it. It's worth it. It's like, and I have to have everything done ahead of time so I can walk in and then just do my thing, right?
Yes.
Just show up, trust, and allow, So, yeah. So
it is always amazing to watch Dawn at the very end kind of wrap up and do the other sequence so her body's balanced before we get there, and then take her 1 minute in Shavasana and then bow out, and I just am always present to that, just watching you complete your own practice for you so that you can get to work on time.
Right. Yeah, that's right, because I can't stay for the whole thing, although I wish I could, but but it's worth it.
But it's
really
awesome.
Worth it. It's really worth it. It is. I want to talk about this other amazing experience that I've had with you, which is a collaboration between you and an acupuncturist to, wait for the name, Voodoo Yoga. Love this. And so I've had this experience with you. So can you first talk about just, what led to this collaboration?
Yeah, so this amazing acupuncturist that I've been working with, her name is Daphne Livomini, and she also stumbled into one of my classes and just kept showing up, and then we just got to talking, and she was expressing to me that she had been doing acupuncture on herself and then doing yoga and coming to my classes immediately after.
How interesting. Okay.
Yeah, and her experience with that, and how she was so dropped in and connected because of the acupuncture had kind of opened these channels of energy in her body, and then to experience the yoga practice from that place was just a very different experience for her. And so we just got to connecting about that. This just kind of the parallels and the similarities, and what acupuncture does for your body and what yoga does for your body, and how there's just, they kind of meet. They have a lot of overlapping, right? Just kind of opening blocks, right? Releasing tension, healing pain, allowing centering to happen and breathing to happen. And so when you receive an acupuncture session, the body just wants to move that energy, right? And so when you receive a session, and maybe you haven't, maybe you never have, and it's all good, but you feel the effects maybe for a couple days, but it's amazing when you add on the other layer of yoga, how you can encourage the body to continue moving that energy. So I feel like it just keeps the flow going within your internal system, you know, and the more often you can kind of have that practice, just can just kind of keep that flow going and that letting go happening.
So it's a continuation of sort of what you've received in acupuncture. It helps to continue it. It helps to sort of continue this medicine or this healing or this something to continue to happen in your system.
Right. Like, I guess the best way to describe it is it's a deeper release, right? So you can get the release from acupuncture.
Okay.
Feel good, right? And you can get the release from yoga. And then when you just add the two together, it's just a super magical,
right? Okay.
Deeper release, or there's the possibility for that.
Okay. Well, I love it because it's so much. I mean, it's a great combination for sure, and it appeals because they're both alternative practices as it relates to Western world,
right.
The Western world. Yoga from India, and then acupuncture originally from China, maybe. And so it's really appealing, the combination, but it's so much more, there's so much more to it. So I'm really glad I asked you about it because it was an amazing experience and I'll share this with the audience, the world, that I went to someone's home, a beautiful home, and there was sort of a magical fire, a very shimmery fire lit up in the fireplace on a winter morning to experience, is it 90 minutes?
Yeah.
So
it's an hour and a half.
So a 90-minute voodoo yoga session, and where I came in, and what's her name again?
Daphne.
And how can I forget it?
No worries.
No, it's very, it really stands out. Where Daphne administered acupuncture on each of us, and it felt very personalized. And so we had our acupuncture, all of us, in the room. And then after the acupuncture, after we completed that aspect, then we did yoga with Harmony. And it was really, it's a very special experience. And everyone should experience voodoo yoga with Daphne and Harmony because it was really an amazing experience. And to know, and of course, there's more to it. Of course, there's something more than just putting two sort of alternative practices together, and because it's catchy or it's fresh. Of course, there's more to it, so that makes sense. And even it makes sense, and it also makes sense to why it felt like such a magical experience, really.
And there's something to be said for sharing that experience within a group setting. That, I mean, even if acupuncture is not something that you're interested in, and needles are like a no for you, like even if you were to come and just have a meditation within the same space as this is happening, there's just so much goodness moving throughout that space that it's just kind of it's kind of hard not to feel great after, I mean, and that's what we all want. We all just want to feel good.
Yes. And it is, without sounding too esoteric, and it's probably too late for that, I say that often, there is a lot to be said for a group activity as it relates to yoga, in my experience, meditation, and then you have this acupuncture, which I've never experienced group acupuncture like this, and for it to feel so personalized. But there is so much, this is the esoteric part, there is so much energy in the room, and it's so much good energy. So it's just you take a great feeling and you multiply it by the people in the room having that same, although it be personalized, but that same great experience, and all that energy is in the room. you can't help but to benefit. Everyone benefits from this experience. So it's really magical, really. It's magical.
And we're beginning to add actually another layer to this.
Great.
Which is super exciting, as it brings in a little bit more of that good energy flowing. But we're adding on the layer of creative movement and dance, which I know some people can automatically go, well, I don't dance, right? And kind of turn off their listening here. Yeah. But again, just like, if you don't do the acupuncture, you can still benefit, right? If you don't want to participate in the creative movement side, that's okay. Almost just kind of being in the space too. It's very enlivening. So we actually have a couple of events coming up, April and May, that I'm super excited about, because it's going to combine the acupuncture, the yoga, followed by sort of a moving celebration, one could say. So it's like a celebration through movement. So I'm excited.
And this is the yoga dance aspect, right? So this is I'm excited too, because I'm going to partake. How can I not? How can I not? And I have shared the fact that you do that I've experienced, voodoo yoga, and I hope I can bring people with, or you have to tell me the parameters around sharing it or inviting, because it is really it really is amazing, and why wouldn't I want to share it with people?
Are there parameters? I feel like it's just...
I hope there aren't.
No, all are welcome. There are no lines here. All are welcome to this experience. Yeah, I just want to share this with the world. I think we both do, and absolutely. I think we're this is why we're here.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
exactly. Oh, good.
Come on.
The more the merrier. Yoga dance. Tell me a little bit about this. I haven't taken your yoga dance class, but I'm really interested. I'm intrigued.
It's because we haven't had it on a time when you really want to come. So the full name would be called Let Your Yoga Dance, and I did this training with this fabulous woman, Mega is her name, and at Kripalu in
New York.
In Lenox, Massachusetts. And when I took her, when yoga dance came into my world, it was like, for me, it was like uniting just everything, like who I am in all areas just came together.
I love it.
That's how it felt for me.
This is why I need to take your class.
Yeah. I felt like I'm standing in my feet for the first, oh my God, these are my feet.
Yes.
And this is what I'm meant to do, right?
I love it.
In combination with the yoga and the performing arts and all of that. Yeah. So it unified it all. Yes. Yoga dance is it's a movement exploration that works through the energy centers of the body. So it's a combination of some yoga movement postures. Nothing's held, it's all moving. There's some guided movement, but then there's also the opportunity to move in your own way to discover what feels good for you. So it's a very free space.
I have to see it. I have to experience.
I know. It's hard to describe. It's hard to describe because it's very unique. But I have to say, when I finish a class and just to see and experience the joy on people's faces and the release that I just see like happen from the beginning, when we're all trying to concentrate and be serious or something. I don't know what it is that we try to do, but we're moving out in the world and we're super wound up from whatever is going on, that we come into this space and it just takes a minute. Sometimes it just takes a minute to slow down, and then this dance is like it's an express route to just letting go of that stuff and I just
presence.
Presence. And joy.
Yes, presence. Ooh, I love it. Okay. Yeah. And what days is it?
Tuesdays and Thursdays at 9:30 a.m. But again, there's going to be more offerings out there because I'm teaching right now at the Downtown Oakland YMCA, which is member based, but community classes are developing.
I love it. Okay.
And coming.
I love it. So,
Yeah.
Okay, so other than the Y, are you teaching are you teaching elsewhere besides voodoo yoga? Are you teaching elsewhere?
So I teach a lot all over the Bay Area. I teach right now. I teach at the U.S. Coast Guard. I teach for Coast Guard.
You do?
Yeah.
Do you work with Tracy?
I don't work with Tracy. No.
But you know Tracy?
I do know Tracy.
Okay.
Yeah. I actually am where she used to be.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Exciting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's really great. That's been amazing to bring yoga to the
military branch.
To the military.
Right?
Yeah. It's fascinating. Those classes are full. And
I'm sure.
Yeah.
You're fabulous.
Yeah.
Really though. No, but you are.
Thank you. So. Yeah, that has been really rewarding. And then I teach for some corporate clients here in the Bay, and I'm just working to develop. I teach privately, my desire is to have more community classes so that nobody has to be a member to come, that they can just come and show up, and so that's where the voodoo yoga is coming in, offering classes outside that anyone can come to, and then there's just lots that's being kind of manifested right now.
I love it.
So it's exciting.
Yes,
it's exciting.
Well, I look forward to. We'll share it with the world as things unfold more and more and manifest. We'll share it with the world.
Yes.
You need to know. You need to be present in her classes. So this is so exciting, though. It really is. Let's talk a little bit more about dance. Let's talk about. I mentioned Triple Threat, and of course, people want to know about this. So you sing, dance, and act.
I do.
Can we talk about dance and then maybe move, because it's a natural movement from what we were just talking about with the yoga and then yoga dance.
So about dance.
Whatever you'd like to go with it.
So I started taking dance as a little girl when I was 3 years old. Not forced to, just invited to by my parents. They were very open to me doing what it is that I wanted to do, and so I took ballet, and I took tap, and I took jazz, and I did that whole thing, the small town dance studio, and then I just really loved it. So I just I had to keep doing it, and the theater aspect didn't really seriously quite come in until college. I actually went to college thinking I was going to pursue dance as a major, and that was going to be my thing. But I auditioned for a musical in college, and that happened, and it just that just became very clear. Oklahoma was the first musical I did, it was so much fun. It was so much fun to collaborate with this group of people who all just loved the same things I did, and so that became my new theater. Started to become my new
love or avenue.
Because I always loved all combined, right? So just pursuing dance just felt a little too just do dance, and then just do theater like a serious actor. I love that stuff, but also hey, I want to dance, and I absolutely, I love to sing. Always, went on walks when I was a kid, making up songs and singing in the shower and all that kind of stuff. So just the unification of all those things lights me up. It really lights me up. So I just adore any opportunity that I get to let those parts of myself be expressed.
Well, I really appreciate hearing from another person that was yaying to that has creative or interest in different in different areas, because so often we're told pick an avenue. And I mean, I want to relate to why that also makes sense, but pick an avenue and be good in that avenue. Don't, but it's also, it feels like it squashes it feels like it tries to force us into one direction and has the potential of squashing creative energies or efforts or
desire,
interest. Exactly, because I am not one person. I'm not a person who can just go in that one direction. I have many interests, and I'm at this point in my life where I feel like I need to be the kid in the cookie store or in the candy store. I need to, because I have so many interests. I need to explore. I need to be able to act out in those ways. Because I don't just fit into a box, and the box is too confining for me. So I love to hear other people say, I don't fit in a box and it's too confining, and I love to be able to express in different ways, because I feel like we don't hear that enough. I feel like certainly kids don't hear it enough. Like, no, there's many different ways to show up and be, and you need to explore. So
it's following what excites you.
Yes.
It's following what excites you. And yeah, I can understand this, pick something. I mean, it's the world we're brought into,
right.
Of like, the survival aspect of moving through the world and taking care of yourself. Yeah. But that following what excites you part, I mean, that's when I feel like when you're in alignment with that, that's when
everything else will follow. Else will follow. Right. I mean, the do what you love, and everything will, everything will flow. Everything will. I believe that.
And it's scary.
It is scary.
And so that's why the box feels really nice sometimes.
Yeah, well, I mean, it looks nice and it looks secure, but the truth of the matter is, another esoteric moment, is that it isn't secure. It just looks secure. It looks secure, and it's seems comforting because it's a box and it has edges, and but the truth of the matter is it really isn't any more secure than being without the box. And so you might as well have a great time and enjoy and let it flow. Let the the money and as secure as it can be will follow, especially if we follow our joy and follow our passion. And you said it, what did you say? You said
excitement? No.
Yeah, but just what that I lost it, but there's a trust and a surrender also, and everything will be there to support you. Everything, it's the alignment. That's what I was thinking of. The alignment.
Well, this last week, what I brought into a lot of my classes was this idea of a visual of a stoplight, like the red light, green light, yellow light. Metaphor of that being like your intuition or following your excitement, right? When you're following your excitement, or that place within you, also known as following your heart, or whatever other thing you want to kind of call it, that's when those green lights start to turn, right? And you ever notice when you're driving down the street and you hit all the green lights,
right?
And like.
Right.
You don't, and then sometimes you hit all the red lights,
right?
And then sometimes you hit all those yellow ones, and you don't know whether to stop or to go.
Yeah.
That's just a good visual for like knowing when you're in alignment, when you feel like it's like you're driving and the light is green.
Right. It's just a go. You just keep getting go. You just keep getting.
Yeah. And then sometimes those red lights show up and it's like, okay, well, we're going to stop here for a second. Why is this so hard?
Right.
Let me stop.
Yeah.
At this light, and just pause for a moment, right? And the light might turn green and I might not go straight. I might go right or left.
Right.
Now.
Right.
Right, but giving yourself the opportunity to pause and to take that in and to really go back to what it is that excites you.
Presence, reflection, allowing, expanding when I feel like contracting, opening, and being really flexible. Being flexible and yeah.
And there's you know, sometimes mind and heart are connected, right? But sometimes mind goes a little faster. Yeah,
that's what it does.
Yeah, I should.
Yeah, so we have to like slow down to.
And that's what yoga is an opportunity for, or meditation, or dance, or any other practice.
Right. Is
an opportunity to
align again, have that alignment, allow the alignment. Okay, that's beautiful. Now there's a lot to get out of what she just said. There really is. There's a lot to know, and of course it's truth. It resonates in the body. You know, it resonates in the body, the truth of it all. You know. Okay. You have interest in other ways that we haven't, as I'm also getting to know you, that we haven't discussed that you would like to share?
Interests in
whatever.
In whatever.
Things that to narrow it a bit, since that's rather broad.
I have a lot of interest.
Right. Since that's rather broad. Other things that you're passionate about? Other areas of...
Yeah. I mean, I consider myself to be an extremely passionate person, and always have been, kind of a hard on my sleeve kind of person. So, and sometimes those things, well, not sometimes, they move and shift and change, you know.
Sure.
But I really do feel like, that's a good question.
Do I need to narrow it a bit more?
Maybe. I mean, a lot of times I think that for me, that my experience of life is my passion. Like experiencing and having experiences, and you know, sometimes someone will come and say, "Hey, have you tried this?" You know, I say, "No, I haven't." Like, I'm interested in that. You know, I'm interested in growing. I'm interested in growing and learning about how who I am and how I function through this world, and learning about the brain and the whole psychology aspect, and then the energetic stuff. And I'm just fascinated about life. I mean, it's fascinating.
It is. And it's an incredible experience.
Yeah.
Experiences. More and more experiences. It really is a beautiful trip.
And to just see like the journey so far, right? To like,
yes.
Wow. You know, I mean, I think a lot of times we can be so focused on
right over there when I get there.
Yeah, like this now when this happens.
Ooh, yeah.
You know, like that's my goal, right? And
when I get there.
Yeah. And I definitely very much value having an intention, and seeing that and going in that direction. But again, right, Mega, my Let Your Yoga Dance
training
inspiration, one of her sayings that really stuck with me, if I could remember it, it did stick with me, is that planning is priceless, or plans are priceless. No, sorry, let me go back. Planning is priceless, but plans are useless. So having the planning implemented and the vision implemented, is totally priceless thing, right? You have your notes here, priceless. And what happens in this conversation?
Right.
We don't know.
Right.
So what happens within the planning, where the actual plans are going to go, we don't know exactly.
Yeah. The plans are, that reminds me of that box again, right? The plans are the box, right? So the preparation, the planning, priceless, right? We do that, right? We do that. And however we are practicing, or whether a skill, something artistic, something creative, whatever it is we're doing, we're becoming good at that. We're implementing and practicing and planning, and it's priceless. But then, what happens, what shape it takes, right? We're going to go with that. We're going to allow that. We're going to expand with that and let it be, because usually it's much greater than we ever can conceive of it, right? It's
and coming back to what the intention actually is, because I think sometimes the intention is colored by all these other words, like, I want to make a lot of money, right? Well, why?
Right.
Why do you want to make a lot of money? I mean, that's coming back to the why behind it all, I think, is really
centering.
Is the honest intention.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
and I love that. The grounding, that's how we ground ourselves. Why are we doing all of these other things? What is the real intention? What is the real intention? I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. What have been some of the most significant inspirations in your life, whether they be people or experiences?
Wow. Well, yeah. So I believe that inspiration is and can be is everywhere, and the possibility of seeing it is everywhere. But some, I guess, specific kind of people and experiences that I've had that have been, for some reason, I'll just go with my heart here. As I'm thinking about my dad right now, I'm thinking about my father, who actually passed in 2008, and just the connection with him that I had growing up was extremely inspiring for me. He was an amazing parent, and always created the space for me to have my own experience. And I think that is what I am so passionate about, is creating the space for others to have their own experience, and for me to have mine. Like I want to feel that freedom. And if I'm allowing myself to have my own experience, I'm also inspiring and giving permission to others to have their experience.
Absolutely.
So I'm just thinking about my father, because I think he did a really wonderful and amazing job at that, right? Not necessarily saying no to, like, hardly ever, right? Unless there was some safety concerns. But usually, for the most part, I just remember a big yes from him. And then, I'd have experiences that were not pleasant.
Sure.
And I got to experience that. Right. And have my reaction. Yeah. And he was always very present in having conversations about it. Yeah. So, yeah, I think he was a very inspiring force in my life from an early age. Both my parents. My mother as well is an incredibly strong human being, her and I are actually very, very similar. So our energies sometimes are super fiery together, but she's a solid and amazing human being. So, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love this. It was just, a big yes.
A big yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Just allowing you to experience life, because that's why we're here.
Right.
To experience life, and allowing you to, without it being so restricting and
right.
But for you to just be able to see what it's like and have your experiences, both bad and good,
Right. Yeah. Right.
What a gift. What a gift as a parent to be able to offer that to your to the person who's come into this world, sort of under your umbrella, but to offer them the world because it is their world to experience. So
yeah,
beautiful,
absolutely
beautiful. And I do get that from you too. I love that too. How you talk about, if you allow yourself to experience the world and life, that you can also, that you can show that to the world, that you can also be expansive and open to allowing others to experience the world that way, and so it's a beautiful gift to give to the world. Yeah, it really is.
Coming from that honest place.
Right.
Coming from that honest place. I think that's, that's where it's at.
Right. Yeah, that is where it's at. I agree. I do agree. I mean, it just allowing is what we can choose to do, or we can contract and not allow, but in the end we're only causing our own suffering. So I mean, just allowing and being and coming from just an authentic, organic place is the way to live. That's living. That's living as I see it. What is the big dream that you have in your life?
Ooh, a big dream. Well, I can feel my mind surge up with all these, like, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do this, and
the monkey is going crazy.
Yeah. But I'm gonna try to bring myself back to that place of why. I really wanna provide. I really want to take what it is that I do, and at that space when I come in and I step in before a class and I go, hey, what's going to happen? I want to take that energy that just comes so naturally to me to creating a space for others, to really have a place, whether it's with the yoga and that's my offering with the yoga and the yoga dance and the voodoo yoga. To have a place where people can come and really feel like that they have space around them to be who they are. Right? I want to create that as much as I can in the world. And so I envision that happening in many different ways. I envision creating a big studio eventually. I envision traveling to many different places, to many different cultures. And then I also, I recognize I have a big drive for this, for that part of my life. And then I also have this desire to have some very simple experiences of my life to create a home in a space that's just where I get to experience the amazing nature and world that surrounds me. And I'd love to experience what it's like to bring another little tiny human into the world, and have the experience of being a mother. So there's just so much, and then again, allowing that flow. I've got my plans.
Right.
Let's see what happens.
Right. See how it unfolds. Okay, beautiful.
Yeah.
So, I would like to just offer you the opportunity, and I did get a chance to forward you this piece. Do you have any words that you would like to offer up?
Yeah. I think that really the most important thing coming up for me when I hear that is follow your excitement. Follow your excitement. And I think that the more often we can take a moment to pause, to allow ourselves to feel and to get to know our bodies and what it feels like when the excitement is there, And then to let ourselves follow that, because I think it's a very clear, I think, we all have our superpowers, and I think sometimes I've noticed that one of mine is this feeling aspect. I feel a lot, right? And so to get to know, I want to invite people to tap into how they feel, because I think the body is extremely wise, right? And knows. And when that excitement is there, it's for me, it's a very alive feeling, and it just wants to go, right? And it's very clear, right? And in other words could be like heavy, right, or light, right? You were stressing in the class, there's a lightness, right? So I feel light, that's a yes. I feel heavy, okay, what's that? Right? Just keep asking questions and follow your excitement.
Awareness and presence is what I take from that. And really listening. Just really listening. And
Yeah, and I think sometimes too, I really resonate with, I know you have a meditation practice, a regular meditation practice. Sometimes, this has been with me a little bit recently, that there can be a lot, especially as this becomes more a part of our world, like as meditation starts to surface and yoga starts to become more of a thing that people are gravitating towards, and people are stepping outside of their boxes. And it's all awesome.
Yes.
That to practice some lightness about all of that as well, right? Because sometimes I hear the word meditation, and even for me, I go like, ugh, right? Sometimes I have a reaction of that. Sure. But that can simply be sitting down and closing your eyes for 10 minutes, right? Or whatever the practice is, right? We all can find something that works for us. But taking the pressure off, right? Taking the pressure off of even the stuff, I think that sometimes minds are trained to even put pressure on the healing stuff, right? Like, I must heal, I must this, or and maybe I'm just talking about myself.
No, you're talking about the mind.
Yeah.
You're talking about what the mind does with things.
Right.
Right. Really, the mind is, I'm really convinced that the mind is doing that. It's doing an incredible job. It works overtime. It really wants the best for us.
Yeah.
It really wants the best. So when it sees something that we want or something that's of interest to us, it wants to do it all the way. It wants to do it 100%, and then it creates pressure and, but it really wants the best for us, So we have to, this is the part where we just allow the mind to, we know it's going to do what it does, and that we just are present and we watch it. We watch the mind and we recognize it really wants the best for us, and then we just can relax into life and enjoy it.
Right. And we trust, something I say often in my classes too is that this is perfect right now. This, perfectly imperfect. How it is, perfect.
It's the best moment of our lives, because it's really all we have. It's all we know is right now. It's this moment. And it's like you said, it really couldn't at this moment really, what's wrong in this moment? Nothing. This is a beautiful moment, and it's the best moment right here, right where, how could it not be? Because it's just right now, right? Nothing in the past, nothing in the future. It's just this moment. What a gift, what a blessing.
And when you connect to this moment, there actually isn't much to say anymore, right? When you connect to this moment,
Now that's the gift right there. That's the gift to the world right there. It's just being present, and that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about.
Amen.
Yay! Thank you. Oh,
thank you, Dawn.
Beautiful. Yay.